Dun, dun,
So is this the infamous Jurassic World t-shirt?
Oh yeah, this is the one my mum bought me for Christmas. Like, said you can have a t-shirt with a dinosaur on it. She found me this one, so that's nice of her. But then she got one with Jurassic World, so I wasn't happy about that.
See, what I want to know is, why didn't you wear that for the video last week?
It was in the wash. I do have a life outside of these videos. I'm sorry if that surprises you. For decades now, the visage of a kindly old black man has been used to sell packets of instant rice under the moniker Uncle Ben. Weirdly though, the guy isn't called Uncle Ben. More specifically, Uncle Ben was a guy called Frank Brown who was a maitre d' at an unknown restaurant in Chicago in the mid-50s. This restaurant was frequented by a guy called Gordon L. Harwell, who owned a company that sold rice during World War II called Converted Rice Incorporated.
That's a really crap name.
For a company that sells rice. I think it rolls off the tongue. Converted Rice Incorporated. I'd buy that.
Shut up and take my money!
Harwell had got good feedback on his rice when he sold it to the Allies during World War II, and he wanted to expand and begin selling it to the public. However, to do that he needed two things: a better name and a face he could put on the front that the public could trust.
So is that where Frank Brown came in?
Yes, the story goes that Harwell and one of his business associates were dining in the restaurant that Frank worked at, and the business associate said to Harwell, look, the rice is good, but you need a friendly face to sell it. Like that guy, and just pointed to Frank. And they approached him and they said, well, look, we like your face, we want it. We will pay you some money to use it on our rice. Brown, not really knowing like the value of what the brand would eventually become, agreed and said yes, and they paid him apparently about $50, which is probably a bad deal for him, but a great deal for them.
Did they know him beforehand?
Frank Brown, according to Uncle Ben's, the company, they contend that Harwell and Brown were very good friends, and that the reason that Brown didn't mind only being paid a few dollars for his image being used forever to sell a brand of product he had nothing to do with without getting any residual payments whatsoever is because they were such good friends. However, other sources that are probably a bit less biased than Uncle Ben's contend that they happened to have a chance meeting and he dined there a few times. He kind of knew Frank, obviously with him being the maitre d' of the restaurant, but he basically ripped him off. He said, I'll give you $50 for your likeness, which back then was a lot of money, but not nearly as much money as the company had made using his face to sell their product. I should say, yeah, sources are divided. On one hand, you have a massive corporation that has a vested interest in you believing their version of events, telling one story, and on the other hand, you have newspapers and other things. But then again, you know, fake news.
Fake, phony, fake.
So what about the name Uncle Ben?
He was a real guy. He was a guy who worked down in Texas, who was well known for the quality of his rice crop, and Harwell knew that and decided to bank on the goodwill surrounding that name, because a lot of people knew that Uncle Ben sold good rice, so he put that on his product and then used Frank's face.
So Uncle Ben was a rice farmer, but he did not work for that other company?
No, but he was a black guy, so Harwell could trick the public into thinking that he sold his rice. Obviously, I have to say, like, for libel reasons, in case Uncle Ben, I'm assuming they've got quite good lawyers, this isn't the reason they say he did this, but I should mention that Uncle Ben, we don't know his last name, because apparently he was famous enough that everyone knew about his rice, but not famous enough that anyone knew his last name. Harwell just so happened to use that name and a kindly old man's face that he knew, who happened to be a black guy.
Hey, maybe it was a coincidence.
Hey, maybe it was a coincidence.
People hear the name Uncle Ben, they know that, oh, he's that black guy who sells the awesome rice. They see a black guy's face and they go, oh, that must be him, when he had nothing to do with either.
Why did they call him Uncle Ben?
That's because they didn't want to call him Mr. Ben, or more aptly, Rice King. You see, this is the 50s and this was the South. As you can imagine, black people didn't get a fair shake back then. It comes down to this weird paradoxical element, because obviously we've got to respect the elderly, but he's black. So we need a compromise. We can't call him Sir. So they kind of found this middle ground, this like shitty kind of compromise. So how about we call him Uncle? Because that's nice. We don't have to call him Mr. or Sir or anything that would imply that we respect him as an equal.
That just seems stupid.
It is, and what makes it more hilarious is they still use it today, because obviously they're hoping that people don't really pick up on the racial connotations of still referring to an older black gentleman as Uncle Ben.
That's fucking weird. Yeah, no, that's racist.
Harwell decided to heroically jack Uncle Ben's name and slap it on his own brand of rice, stealing a lifetime of goodwill forged by hard work and determination, renaming his company Uncle Ben's Converted Brand Rice. So that makes you feel probably kind of bad about buying Uncle Ben's, doesn't it? He builds up this reputation to the point where people in Chicago were like, holy shit, Uncle Ben's rice, we better buy this, we know this dude. And then this guy's like, well, you know what I could do? I could take his name and his face and sell it without paying either of them. And then I get all the money and Uncle Ben can go fuck himself. Thanks for all the hard work, your lifetime of dedication to making sure your product's quality. I'm gonna steal that. They try to rebrand Uncle Ben as being the CEO of the company. He went from being the mascot, which is kind of racist when you think about it. Oh, who's your mascot? Is it a talking tiger? Is it a cornflake eating chicken? No, it's a black guy. That's kind of racist. So they went, no, he's not the mascot, he's the CEO of the company. So they rebranded him, they put him in like a suit with his arms crossed like that. And they say that he passes down grains of wisdom to his staff.
So what happened to Frank Brown?
We don't know. Unfortunately, historians have not been able to find out what happened to him afterwards, so we can only really draw one or two conclusions. Either he spent the rest of his life walking down the street, just swaggering with his dick out, slapping people aside with giant bags of rice with his face on them, or far more likely, he died penniless while the person who jacked his image to sell rice made millions off it. You do like to subscribe, say what brand should we shit on next? Because I've got a lot of brands that I fucking hate, so we could probably find some. I'm sure there's other ones that people want taking down a couple of pegs. So yeah, Big Rice, we've taken Big Rice down. Who do you want us to take out next? Like or like in comment which company needs to be taken down. Here's a company we can shit on. How about YouTube? No, I don't want to talk about that. People don't care about the behind the scenes of YouTube, I guess. Let's just put up a nice video about rice and the fact that it's super racist. That'll be perfect, people enjoy that.
Do you want to do a disclaimer?
Alright, so this is just a disclaimer to say that Uncle Ben's rice can go fuck. Tell you what, Uncle Ben's, if you want this video taken down, how about you send me some money?
That's blackmail.
It's not blackmail, it's extortion.
Oh.
It's very different. I'm not blackmailing a person, I'm extorting a company.
Oh, forgive me. I'm in the wrong.